Good evening, everyone. We'll be starting off with the presentations for today. We'll start off with Shubhi. You can unmute.
Sir, am I audible and visible?
Yeah, you're audible and visible.
Okay, I will start sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Good evening, sir. Today I'm going to give a presentation on predictive modeling, that is to predict students' math score. These are the contents of the PPT which we'll cover throughout the PPT. First, what is the objective of this project? So the objective of the project is to build a predictive model to predict math score of a student based on different parameters using supervised learning algorithm. Then using feature selection technique to identify the most relevant features for predicting the math score, most accurate math score, further evaluating the model using different metrics. Now the question here arises is that why to analyze student performance? We are analyzing, that's okay, that's one point, but why to analyze? So the answer lies that we have to analyze the student performance to identify the struggling students. There are many times that students are struggling to perform better due to various reasons. A good teacher is the one who identifies the student and helps them in the right direction. So performance analysis helps the educator to identify the student who needs additional assistance or assistance to different approach of learning. Then second reason is to track process over time. Now, if a teacher only teaches a student and does not analyze his performance, he might not know how much the student is grabbing and how much he's grasping whatever is being taught to him. So tracking the process over time is really, really important. Lastly, to improve the teaching quality, only a good student is not necessary for a good education. A good teacher is also required, and not always the student is wrong. Sometimes the teaching method also needs to be improved to ensure that the student learns better. Now the flow of the project. So first we will import the required libraries, then the dataset details, followed by detection of missing values, then descriptive statistics, data visualization, feature selection, following by algorithms, then predictive modeling and evaluation. Now, what were the libraries that we will use in this project? First is Pandas, which is an open source Python library widely used for data manipulation. Then NumPy, it is an open source Python library that provides support for large and multi-dimensional arrays. Then Matplotlib, which is a popular Python plotting library that is used for creating various types of static and animated visualizations. Then Seaborn is a Python data library, which is based on Matplotlib and provides a high interface for creating attractive and informative statistical graphics. Now the dataset details and exploration. So the given dataset is taken from Kaggle and contains 1,000 rows and 8 columns. The 8 columns are as follows: that gender, race, parental level of education, lunch, test preparation course, math, reading and writing score. Now the descriptive statistics of the dataset. So in gender, we have 2 options, male and female. Race and ethnicity, we have 5 groups, A, B, C, D, E, just like the religions in India. Then parental level of education. What are the parental level of education means? The extent to which parents are educated, that is bachelor's degree or master's degree, associate degree. Then lunch, then test preparation course, whether they are prepared for the test or not. Then the maths, reading and writing score. Here also I have shown the descriptive statistics, maths, reading and writing score. The count is 1,000 or 1,000 rows. Then mean of math score is 66. Reading score 69 and writing is 68. Then along with that, I have calculated standard, minimum, 25% quartile, 50% quartile and all. One more thing to note here is there are no missing values or duplicate values in the data set. Followed by data visualization. So one can see based on gender, I have 518 females followed by 482 males. The number of females are more than the number of males. And based on race or ethnicity, the 5 groups, Here are the 5 groups, and we can see the group C has the highest, followed by group D and then group B. Moving further to feature selection. So what is feature selection? Feature selection is the process of choosing relevant features for machine learning for predicting model. Then the question arises, what are the benefits of feature selection? So the benefits of feature selection is improved model performance. By selecting only the relevant features, one can simplify the model and avoid overfitting, leading to improved performance. Then reduced time and cost. Feature selection can eliminate irrelevant or redundant features, saving the time, resources. Increased understandability. By selecting only the important features, one can increase the understanding of the underlying relationships. To understand feature selection, let us take one live example. Consider we are developing a model to calculate the average cost of an article. In that, we are writing all the selling costs, cost price, selling price, everything. And then we are also writing the time of purchase of that article. So that time of purchase of article is surely playing the role if the cost of the article is influenced by inflation. But if it is kept constant throughout, then the time has no value in that data set. This is known as feature selection. It is generally not necessary that if one feature which is important in one data set might be important in other data set. It purely depends on the kind of work or the prediction which we are trying to make. To show feature selection, I'll show you before feature selection, I was considering all the 8 columns and I have performed all these regressions with the highest accuracy of 89%. And then I have excluded the lunch column. I have not included that. And then I am getting an accuracy of 0.891. It's a very less accuracy, 0.001. But this is only one data set with very less amount of values. If we have more number of rows and if we have irregular data, feature selection might play a very important role. Then the algorithms which are used. So regression is a statistical method used for modeling the relationship between one or more independent variable and a dependent variable. There are various types of regressions. First is linear regression. It is used when the relationship between the independent and dependent variable can be approximated by a linear equation. Then ridge regression. It is a variant of linear regression which includes a regularization term to prevent overfitting. It adds a penalty term to the least square loss function. Lasso regression, it is an abbreviation which stands for least absolute shrinkage and selection operation. It is just like ridge regression with regularization. However, it performs both variable selection and regularization by adding an absolute value penalty. Then XGBoost, it's a powerful and popular machine learning algorithm which uses ensembling learning. Then decision tree, it is a versatile and intuitive machine learning algorithm which is used for both classification and regression tasks. It is a tree-like model which makes a series of binary decisions on the inputs and then predicts it. Now, predictive modeling. What is predictive modeling? So predictive modeling, also known as predictive analysis, is a process of creating and using mathematical model to predict future outcomes based on historical data. In this, the primary goal is to understand the relationship between the input variables and the output variables in order to make informed predictions. The process of predictive modeling generally involves the following steps: data collection and pre-processing. First step is to collect the relevant data and then handle it by handling all the missing values, outliers, or duplicate values. And then feature selection and engineering, choosing the most relevant features that give us the highest accuracy. Then model selection, selecting an appropriate predictive model. Training and validation, to split the data set into training and validation set. Model evaluation and tuning, then assessing the model performance using appropriate evaluation metrics such as MSE, MAE, or R2 scores. Then prediction and deployment. Once the model is trained and validated, it can be used to make predictions on new and unseen data. Here is the evaluation of the data set which was provided to me. I have applied ridge regression and lasso regression. One can see explained variance score, mean absolute error, mean absolute percentage error. I will explain it in the code later on. Let's move to the code. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah, it's visible.
So here are the libraries which I have used, followed by the reading of the data set. Then these are the first 10 entries of the data set. One can see gender, race, parental level of education, lunch, test preparation course, math score, reading score, and writing score, followed by the last 10 data readings. Then the shape, which is 1000 rows and 8 columns. Then this is to predict the null values, the duplicate values, which are both 0. Then the information that there are, how many values are there, and whether they are null or not null. Then unique number of unique values, gender has 2, then race and ethnicity has 5, followed by others. Then description of the data set. Then the categories in gender are female and male, followed by race, ethnicity, group B, C, A, D, E, and very furthermore. Now the data visualization, I have visualized the data here on gender basis, followed by the ethnicity and race basis. And then I have compared the parental education, where I can see that parents from some college are of the highest number, followed by associate degree, and the lowest is of master's degree. Then I have studied using the high parental level of education along with maths, reading, and writing score, as it's highly believed that parental level of education also influences the child's score, as they are able to teach or educate him better at home. So I can see here the writing score, the reading score, and math score of all the respective students along with their parents' education level. Then I have created the plots here of math score, reading score, and writing score, where I can see the maximum is here 60 to 80, where here it is 60 to 80, tending towards 80 more, here 60 more, and it is somewhat close to 80 only. Further, I have created pie plots of all the columns, and then I have created the player plot. Now, using these codes only, one can also apply algorithms and then matrices to identify the best method. But whether the question arises is whether it is a better approach, the answer here is no, it is not a better approach, although it's a good approach, but it is only here for a less amount of data. The data entries are very small. When the data set size is very large, one may find it very difficult to write all the codes and then executing them. So what is the correct approach? The correct approach is to use Data IQ, DSS, or any other data science platform, as it is very user friendly and makes the process really easy. So let us move to Data IQ DSS. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we will perform the same steps using Data IQ DSS, and we'll show how easy it is to use the data science platforms as compared to that traditional method. Here I'm opening the data set. One can see this is the data set with all the entries. Then I'll show you the display here. One can see that the visualization which I was making there, it is here. Females are 51.8%, 518 as shown. Male are 482, 48.2. Followed by group C, which has the highest number of race and ethnicity or ethnicity. Then group D, group B, group E, and group A. Parental level of education, with some college having the highest number, 22.6%, then associate degree and so on. Similarly, all the values are plotted. And then moving on to the flow. Here I have performed lasso regression, random forest, and ridge regression. Moving to the ridge regression, we'll see the original analysis. And in the original analysis, one can see that I have performed all the algorithms. I have trained it using all the algorithms, and the best accuracy was provided by the ridge regression. And I have used ridge regression in the best is the ridge regression. So I have performed it using ridge regression itself. And then here it's the lasso regression. Here it is random forest. And one can also see in ridge regression also, one can see that what are the features, important features and all. So feature importance, one can see that what are the features which really impact the decision predicting the math score. So here is the writing score, gender, reading score, lunch, test preparation, race, ethnicity, etc. Then one can see the scatter plot also, that what is the difference, what is the error, what prediction value and the actual value. Then metrics and assertion, the detailed matrices, mean absolute error, mean absolute percentage error, mean squared error, and so on. Also, one can definitely see all these types of things in all the three. This is for random forest, which was giving me 0.862. And then lasso regression. Here it is giving me a R2 score of 0.888. All these three algorithms have their feature importance and everything included. I have just shown the one for ridge regression. Similarly, all others can be shown. Now, if someone wants to see a Python code of the very same in Jupyter Notebook, one can definitely see it in notebooks. Here I have for ridge regression. This is the Python code in Jupyter Notebook for the very same process which I have performed there. And it is way more easier to create the models on data.
Shubhi, you aren't audible. I think Shubhi had some technical issues. We'll go with Shivashri. You can unmute.
Okay, sir. 1 minute.
I'm sorry for the power shortage, sir. Am I audible?
Yeah. I was just about to start off with Shivashri. Okay, no problem.
Sorry,
Shubhi, you
sir,
can continue. Shivashri will take your presentation after.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shubhi, continue, please.
Yes, sir. So is my screen visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. So I was about to show you that how we have Jupyter Notebook course for the very same process. Here is the range regression. Everything which has been performed there is in the Python code on the Jupyter platform. In this way, it is very, very easy to compare all the algorithms and also to work with very large data sets. The data IQ DSS makes it really, really easy. Now the limitations and further potential which we have is that while a model has already proven to be an effective tool for driving student success, it does face certain limitations and present opportunities for further development. So the model is only effective to the data which is available to us. But we cannot rely as the following data which will come in the near future might be incomplete or unreliable, which might impact the ability of the model to drive targeted interventions. So the opportunities for further development is that we are always exploring new data source, analyzing techniques and technologies. Currently, we are researching the impact of social, emotional factors such as academic success, because children, we all know, we all tend to drive towards more success. And if we are following throughout the journey, start get demotivated and our scores to deteriorate. So we all have to carry a positive environment throughout us, and we have to be positive in our mindset to ensure that we achieve a better success in our academics. To conclude, I would like to say that predictive modeling is a powerful tool for uncovering patterns, making predictions, and guiding decisions. However, it also poses challenges, which are already discussed in the previous slide, such as data quality and availability. The data quality is really, really important. Further, overfitting. Overfitting occurs when a model fits the training data too closely and captures noise rather than true underlying patterns. Then unforeseen events. The predictive models are often not equipped to handle unforeseen. Here are the references from which I have taken help to consider and to understand all the concepts thoroughly. If anyone is having any questions, they can ask me. And for any further questions, they can contact me even on my email ID, which has been mentioned here. Thank you, sir.
Shubhi, was the data IQ part included in the project description?
Introduction.
No, I'm asking about the data IQ platform that you have used. Was it like mentioned for this project?
So it was not mentioned to use any particular path. It was just mentioned to create a predictive model.
Okay. Okay. Typically all of us stick to making a code on Jupyter Notebook itself. There have been significant improvements in the way in which you gave your presentation. The content was thoroughly prepared. Even the Jupyter code was very nicely done. Even the data IQ part, which I wasn't really expecting, that was like a really nice touch up to everything. Overall, this was like a great presentation, and this is something that I would recommend further for predictive modeling. Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. You can leave the meet. I'll send you all of the scores on your mail. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, Shivashri, you can unmute.
Sir, I will share my screen. Sir, is my screen is visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Yes, sir. Very good evening, sir. My project name is plotting trending lines on HDFC Bank CSV data set. And the agenda is introduction, what is HDFC Bank, why plot trend lines, how to plot trend lines, interpreting trend lines, and conclusion, continue with demo and etc. First of all, coming to the introduction, trending lines are an essential tool in data analysis that helps us identify patterns and trends in large data sets. By plotting trending lines, we can visualize the data and gain insights into underlying trends that may not be immediately apparent from the raw data alone. The bank the bank is known for its strong emphasis on technology and digital services. It offers online and mobile banking, allows customer to perform various transactions and access their accounts remotely. And HDFC Bank has extensive network for branches and ATMs across India, making its services accessible to a wide range of customers. Coming to what is HDFC Bank? This bank provides wealth of data through HDFC Bank CSV dataset, which contains information on customer transactions, accounts, balances, and more. This data can be used to gain insights into customer behavior, identify trends, and make informed businesses decisions. And HDFC Bank has consistently shown a strong financial performance, and they maintain a robust position in terms of assets, profitability, and marketing capitalization. The bank's leadership has played a vital role in the growth and its success. Prominent leaders have steered the bank towards innovation and customer centricity, and HDFC Bank is also involved in various social and community developments and corporate social responsibility programs. HDFC Bank has success and growth have contributed significantly to the Indian banking sector's evolution and have made notable institutions in the country's financial landscape. And why plotting trend lines means plotting trend lines is a valuable technique in data analysis as it provides meaningful information about underlying patterns and trends within a data set. Here is why plotting trend lines is important and how it gives information to the bank. Trending lines helps to visualize patterns that might not be immediately obvious from raw data. By connecting data points, trending lines provide a clearer picture of overall direction and change over time across the data points. Trend lines make it easier to identify trend, trends, whether they are upward, positive, and downward, negative. Relatively flat means neutral. This insight is crucial for understanding the general trajectory of a data set and making informed predictions about the future behavior. Trending lines can reveal data points that deviate significantly from the overall trend. These might indicate unusual events, errors, and or changes in underlying dynamics of the data set. Trend lines often represent mathematical relationship between variables, uh, instance, a linear trend line quantities the rate of change between a variable and providing a measure of correlation or regression. Trending lines can help in making simple forecasts or predictions about future values, and they gives the accurate predictors. They provide a starting point for the projection, and when testing trend lines can provide visual validation or refutation of assumptions, and they allow you to see the data aligns with your expectations. In essence, plotting trend lines goes beyond raw data points, enabling data analysts and researchers and decision makers, etc., to extract the meaningful information and to draw conclusions and uncover insights that might have otherwise remained hidden. It's an essential step to plot the trend lines of process understanding and utilizing data effectively. As of my last knowledge, the data update in September 2021, I can provide you with general overview of HDFC Bank's profitability and its behind the scenes strategy. Basically, HDFC Bank has known for consistent profitability and strong financial performance. Its profits are a result of various factors, including efficient operations and customer-centric services, strategic expansion, and banking activities, including lending, interest income, fee-based services, and investment activities. HDFC Bank's strategy is mainly to uh, be a customer centric. The bank focuses on providing innovative and convenient banking financial needs for the customers. This approach enhance customer loyalty and drives to the revenue growth. And coming to how to plot trend lines, to add a trend line, we have to right click on one of the data points in your chart and select add trend line from the context menu. In the format trend line pane that appears, choose the type of trend line, and you have to display the equation and R squared value on your chart for added clarity. Plotting trend lines involves using a set of data points to visualize the overall trend or pattern in the data. This is the commonly done using scatter plots with a line of best fit, often referred to as a trend line. Here is how you can plot trend lines step by step using matplot library. I will share my code. Sir, is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, sir. I will learn it again. So, 1 minute. Actually, it run before the presentation, but it's showing error now.
You'll have to run the file cell block as well. The second block from where it will read the file.
Yes.
And then you'll have to run the code. Have you mounted the file?
Yes, sir. I done it, sir. But before presentation, I got the bar graph also for this.
You can just copy that link over there, no? For that CSV file link, you can copy over there in the second cell block.
Sir, I'm not getting it.
You have the data set with you, right? In the
Yes.
Google Drive. You can just copy the location link into the second cell block. Yeah, over here you can mount the data set.
The one. Yes. Now it's done. Sir, I actually copied the link and entered in it, sir, but code is not running, sir. Now.
I can't give you grades if there is no demonstration.
Okay, sir, one minute. Sir, it's not running, sir.
If you're facing issues, you can give it tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Be prepared with all of the code, and you'll have to give the entire presentation again. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I
Yeah.
present again, sir. I mean, from beginning onwards.
Yeah, you'll have to give the entire presentation again.
Sir, I'm not getting.
I said that you'll have to give the entire presentation again from the start.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Shweta, you can unmute.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you.
You can share your screen.
Sir, is my screen is visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Good evening, all. Today I am going to present a topic on project curriculum. I am Swetha from Cloud Computing Department. These are the index for my presentation. First, let me show you an example for project curriculum in terms of curriculum management in hospital. Basically, project curriculum is a structure of a plan or a framework which we are going to implement in the application based on the feature consideration. For example, if you are the CEO of the hospital and you are going to implement the new technology in your hospital to reduce the workload. Suppose if you have in past times, you have to enter the patient detail manually in the notebook or any other storage devices. If you want to retrieve the data, it takes more and more time to take to find out the data. After the cloud technology, it is an easy process and which we can easily access the data from anywhere in the world at any time also. Challenges. What are the challenges we faced before the cloud technology? First one is highly infrastructure cost. Let us consider an example. Your hospital wants to store a patient details like patient name, patient ID, and the medical reports, medical record, bills, and appointment. Before the cloud technology, we have to buy a separate computer for it, and we have to buy a separate servers, and we have to buy a network equipment, and we have to buy software licensing. These are the things we have to buy. This takes a highly infrastructure cost compared to the cloud technology. The second one is geographical constraint. Let us consider another situation. If you have a hospital called healthcare, it is located in one city, and it is also has the one computer to store the patient details. But after the cloud, before the cloud technology, we need to open another branch in the another city. It takes lots of time to transfer the data from one branch to another. Before the cloud technology, it is a quite challenging process. And the third step is limited accessibility. Imagine you are working in your hospital called healthcare as a doctor, and you need to access the patient record and medical information to provide the best care for your patient. In the past, without the modern technology, this could be a quite challenging process. These are the challenges we have faced before the cloud technology. After the cloud technology, basically cloud technology, it is a cloud-based services to provide services to efficiency the services. For example, it's provide a server, storage, databases, and networking, and a software, and more without needing to own or manage the physical hardware component. These resources are provided by the cloud services provided, and can be scaled up or down based on your requirement. For example, as I mentioned, if you want to store a patient details in the database, we can use cloud computing or any other cloud storage platforms like AWS, Google, etc. By using these services, we can easily store our data in the database system, and it is also easily accessible. The services provided by AWS. There are many services provided by AWS. Based on our requirement, we can choose our services. First one is Amazon EC2. Basically, EC2 is an elastic compute cloud. It is also provided by Amazon Web Services, and it is used to provide a scalable and virtual service. For example, this is also the similar example as I mentioned in the earlier. For example, if you want to host an application in your system, we can use our AWS service to store our database in the database system, and it is also we can create an application in hospital management software and electronic health record system and other healthcare application. And the second one is AWS Lambda. AWS Lambda is a serverless compute service that runs code without the provisioning or managing the service. For example, if you have a patient called John, if you want to admit her in your hospital, has he yearly booked her appointment in your hospital by using your application? That application triggers the actions like we have to assign a room, and we have to create a medical report for him, and we have to notify the staffs, etc. And the another service is AWS Security Manager, and it is also called as a Secret Manager. AWS Secret Manager is one of the services provided by AWS, and it is help you securely store and manage sensitive information such as database credential and API keys. For example, if you want to store your data securely and it can be accessed by specified person, you can use these services to store your data. And it is also a very secure services. For example, imagine your hospital management system that stores the patient record in the database system. To access this database in the data, the system needs specific credential like username and the password. And security in AWS. We have two types of security. One is a shared responsible model, and another one is identity and access management. In shared responsible model in the AWS, it is a division of a security responsible between AWS and the customer. Basically, AWS is responsible for cloud infrastructure, and customer is responsible for securing their application and the data. Example, a hospital want to deploy application for a telemedicine to communicate a patient and the doctor on AWS to allow doctor to conduct a remote consultation with the patient. And the another security in AWS is the identity and access management, that is the IMEA. Basically, IMEA is a security system provided by AWS. For example, if you want to send a packet in your application, first it checks whether if the packet is safer or not. If it is safer, it allows into your application. If it is does not safer, it does not allow into your application. And it is also you can use to create a user, assign a permission, and set up a multi-factor authentication to enhance the security. Pricing methodology. This is the one of the main feature why we choose AWS over other cloud platform, because AWS is as follows: pay as you go. That means you need not to pay everything. You just need to pay what you use, such as the compute instance, storage, and data transfer. And the second step is on-demand instances. With the on-demand instances, you can pay for compute capacity by the hour, by the minute, by the second, depending on the instance type. And conclusion. In conclusion, the cloud or cloud-based system enhancing the efficiency or the security underscore the transformative potential of Amazon Web Services in a healthcare application. Through the utilization of AWS services like EC2 and Lambda, the project tackles the challenges related to the cost and accessibility of the data security. This highlights how cloud technology can reshape the cloud management, ensuring the streamlined process scalability and the patient information protection. By embracing the cloud solution, healthcare institutions stand to gain a competitive or advantages, demonstrating the pilot code of technology in optimizing the medical services. Thank you. These are the references I used to create this PPT.
Uh, Shweta, the content of the presentation was
Sir,
very,
1 minute, sir. Sir,
yeah, go on. What happened?
sir, I am audible.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so the content of the presentation was very nice. There were no issues over there. One thing that I did notice in your presentations was that you have used a lot of you haven't used any bullet points in the
Sir, your
presentations.
voice is slightly low. I can't able to hear you.
I think it's an issue on your side. Am I
Okay, sir.
audible?
Yes, sir. Now you are audible.
I was saying that you have used a lot of paragraphs in your slides.
Okay, sir.
The content, there was no issue with the content, but you have to dilute all of those paragraphs into bullet points.
Okay,
You don't
sir.
have to, nobody in the audience would, read all of the paragraphs in the presentation. Because
Okay.
think about it, will they listen to you or will they read the paragraphs? Right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Everything else was fine. I'll send you the scores on mail, okay?
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Then we have Lakshman.
Hello.
Yeah, Lakshman.
Hello, sir. Sir, I would like to present.
Yeah, you can start.
Sir, I'm presenting for the first time. It is asking for my access, so I need to rejoin the meeting.
What kind of access is it asking for?
We would like to record this component. It's a grant application for privacy and security settings located in system settings.
Yeah,
So I
that.
just open system settings.
Okay. You can give the access.
Yeah. Sir, is it visible, sir?
Yeah, it's visible. You'll have to turn on your camera as well.
One. Am I visible now, sir?
Yeah, you're visible. You can start.
So I'm presenting about the feature location prediction system in machine learning and deep learning.
Okay.
So this is the data set that we can looking at. The objective is to develop a feature location prediction using
Lakshman,
data IQ.
you'll have to show your presentation. You'll have to start off with the presentation.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So this is my presentation. Feature location prediction system.
Yeah.
So objective is to develop a feature location prediction system using our data IQ data science studios actually. So DSS, we'll be using DSS here, data IQ data science studio. It is used to develop industrial machine learning applications and also to predict any of the software that we are going to do. Our aim here is to create a predictive model that can accurately forecast the further future locations based on our input giving, like we are going to start with giving our locations and timestamps and Then we are going to predict what can be the future destinations, what can be the best possible way, like that. So let's just think this is our situation. So we'll just start, and we are going to give the inputs as our latitudes and longitudes locations. So based on that location, it's going to search for the traffic suggestions. Are there any accidents? Are there diversions? Or any unwanted issues? Then based on that, it's going to predict our final location. Then now what this is a necessity of the prediction is it underscores a vital need for predicting future destination at certain times. So it needs to consider all the situations connected to the world. Time management is also very critical. Can be for any business appointments, social events, or any deadlines or any important steps. So the decision making is very important for us here. By anticipating any potential roadblocks or real-time insights, we can predict any hardships also arising here. So in this model, we are going to use the data set detail. Using lasso regression, we are going to predict using our lasso regression models. First, we'll be taking the data set from our GitHub. After containing the data set, after taking the data set value, we'll be using the algorithm is lasso regression algorithm. First, we are going to predict the latitude. Then using the XGBoost, we'll be analyzing our latitude prediction of this. Then after, like, to get a particular location, we need both latitude as well as longitude, right? So that's why after taking the latitude, then longitude, we are going to integrate both the values. Then we'll be getting our actual location point. Then using lasso regression model, then we'll be predicting our final destination. So basically, this is how we are going to do it. So as we can see, this is our data source pointer. So in after opening the dataset point, in DSS, you can see view as like this in this place. Column start, when does the event time start, when does the event ended, and latitude start and longitude start, latitude end and longitude end. You can see everything in the decimal values. And the training ratio is set to 0.8 to output ratio 0.2. So this is how model is going to look like before. So whatever the model we are using is lasso regression. Lasso regression means least absolute shrinkage and selection operator. It's a linear regression method that incorporates regression by adding a penalty term to the loss function. Before, as we took with the loss function as 0.8. Future using for what the features that we're using for lasso regression are event time start, event time and latitude start, and longitude start. So in the model, we can see these values. Everything will be till the decimals. EVS, MAE, MSC, MP, RMSC, RMSLE, RTC. And later on, we'll be using the XGBoost for extreme gradient boosting. It's a powerful machine learning algorithm that uses an ensemble of decision tree to make the proper predictions. For this XGBoost regression, features will be used for predicting destination latitude start, longitude start, latitude end, error decile, errors, and observed error decile. When accuracy value is I'll show you in the video for this one. This very pretty accurate value. Correlation is also 2 star. Then in the model 2 example, after taking both the values, latitude and longitude as here, now we'll be concatenating the values. Concatenating means like basically we'll just add up the latitude and longitude to get the perfect destination points. So here before the terms here, event time start, event time and latitude start, longitude start. From that, we derive start destination. From that, after giving these two values, this is the predictive model in destination. So that's what we're searching for here. So this is just an example. This is for taking latitude start of 38.77 and longitude start of minus 10.17. This is a start destination. Then after concatenating both the values, we'll be going for lasso left. Least absolute shrinkage and selection operator. Least angle regression. It's an algorithm that combines both the lasso regularization model with the large algorithm. It performs feature selection and coefficient estimation simultaneously. It identifies the most relevant feature while controlling for overfitting, making it useful for high dimensional data sets. It also covers if any irregularities are also there. So that's a very highly efficient solution. Accuracy in error values, you can see it is very low. It's less than 1. So these are the contents in the task. This is the model 1 to model 2. So this is the data flow of how we're going from start to end. Data set, lasso regression, predictive, latitude prediction, XGBoost, longitude prediction, concatenation, lasso loss, and destination prediction. So finally, these are conclusion. In this project, we just aim our data set containing starting, ending, and ending time latitudes and longitudes. Then our algorithm is lasso regression for latitude and XGBoost for longitude. We achieved both the things and we just concatenated both the latitude and longitude as well to get the perfect destinations also. So this is my presentation, sir. Hello.
You'll have to show me the demonstration as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is the data set I was talking about. Initially, we'll start from location data set. So this is the direct file that we took from our GitHub link. Our Hacker's card district prediction. So we are just taking the process data and so these are the dates, even time starts, even time end, latitude start, latitude and longitude end. So later on, first we are going to prediction of latitude as well. So here it is. It is destination latitude in this location data. We are going to run all the cells. Okay? So this is the data set using Jupyter Notebook we'll be implementing there. So these are the initial codes that we'll be using here. Initial data management. This is all the ID, event time start, latitude start, and these are the basic input functions that first we are giving. Then after initial data management, we'll be going to class rotation on the strategy. They will be using lasso regression. Then we are going on after the modeling is done, we'll get final result as PSN correlation will be 0.99999. Like it is very accurate. Most of the real world situations may not be this much accurately. So as we are considering very accurate situation, we're getting a PSN correlation of 0.9999. It's pretty close actually. And we are as we took latitude start, now we're going to go XGBoost also. Similarly, we are going to run all these slow questions. You can see here also almost similar values. So this notebook will reproduce a set for a equation on a predicted latitude based set. The main objective is to predict the variable longitudinal input using the XGBoost. So yeah, as we can see before, we just had values to latitude and only. Now indication is to prediction. Error is 0.0169, like 0.002, 0.002. As you can see, these are very, very minute. So we can say relative error is really low. Here we can see that longitude start, longitude, and this is the prediction. So these are predictors. After cross-validating the strategy, here also we'll be running the same lasso regression because if we use in another any algorithm, it's going to vary. There's going to be a lot of difference because uh, it's always better to use latitude and longitude using the same algorithm. If you take a different algorithm for different things, there's going to be a lot of error. So here also we can see that Pearson correlation is 0.699. It's very close to the point one. So these are the final output that we're going to choose. These till here, these are the values that we give initially, and this is the error value in the data set. So all the error is pretty close to zero, like point, everything is point not one, not 210, 0.0169. So absolute error decile is 1, 0. We can see that it's pretty close to zero. Everything. So relative error is also as well very slow. So that's a very good thing. And in the flow model, the next, as we are saying, destination longitude, this is using XGBoost. In XGBoost, the features we are using latitude and error decile, latitude as well as longitudinal start, absolute error decile, error decile. So this is a training set that we will be using. So as you can see here, this is a model, and the model type is regression. So this is the algorithm we'll be using here. So algorithm, and in the algorithm, actual like number of trees are mostly derived from here XGBoost because giving a basic lateral and won't give us anything. Like just a point, it can be anything. After giving a longitudinal location only, we will know the location exactly where it is. So the trees will be derived from here as well. So as you can see, these are the training data. Sample ratio to training instance is one most of the year. And learning rate is also pointed. As we saw before, our ratio gave us 0.8. So learning rate is 0.2 here. So these are the input features as we gave. Here it is. The training ratio is 0.2 and learning ratio is 0.8. So training ratio is 0.8. So the learning ratio is 0.2, as we said before. Then after getting the XGBoost, we'll be predicting the longitudinal score. That will give us our exact location. So this is the final prediction. Here. These are the basic input values that first initially we gave. This is the prediction values. As you can see, with the longitudinal prediction values, minus 0.9.0980. Here we can see 0.8 to 0.5. This is a little bit different. So that's how close it is predicting. Because here and the relative error is really low. 0.0043. Like it's almost after 3 decimals, 4 decimals, 5 decimals. So that close, how much close it is? 8.555, 8.55434. As you can see, both are pretty close. So I think we can say that our final prediction value is pretty close. So that's how flow chart will help us. So that's how we just predicted the final location for it. Yes.
I think you're done, right?
Yes.
See, Lakshman, this is your first project, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I have like a lot of suggestions that I'd like to give you so that you can make
Yeah, sure.
significant improvements. First of all, can you go to your presentation? We'll just go through each and every slide. You can just keep going to the next one. I'll tell you when to stop.
Yeah.
Keep going.
That's it.
See if you notice the second, okay, the fourth and like the final slide, 15th slide. It's like you've put in paragraphs. This is something that you have to avoid doing completely. Okay, you'll have to stick to bullet points. Put in bullet
Okay.
points and then elaborate on those bullet points. Okay. Another.
Because I thought is like
Hmm.
it is a final conclusion.
Hmm.
So little bit of
Yeah,
detailed
yeah.
explanation would be good. That's what I
Yeah,
because
yeah.
initially I just gave few bullet points itself. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That I can
So this is
understand.
the conclusion stand again.
See that I do understand. Do understand your perspective about this. But typically, what you have to do is that in every single slide, you have to stick to bullet points itself, and then you have to
Okay.
elaborate on those bullet points. Okay. Another thing is that you'll have to include references. You'll have to include a references
I
slide.
think here we just data source again.
You'll have to include it separately towards the end of the presentation.
Okay.
Okay.
Before the conclusion or after
Before
the
the
conclusion?
Before the conclusion.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
You have to include the references slide. You have to include a Q&A slide separately, and in the Q&A slide, you're going to mention your contact details as well. Your
Oh,
mail ID or your phone number. But typically,
okay.
it's mandatory to include your mail ID. Okay.
Okay.
Another thing is that see, you have to give the demonstration and the presentation in such a way that the audience is able to understand. You have to assume that the audience are kids. You'll have to explain every single complex term, every single complex algorithm in a way that is understandable easily to the audience. Okay. This is where you lagged. You seem to rush to a lot of parameters to through a lot of results, and you were mentioning accuracies, but the thing is you'll have to talk about those accuracies. What does those accuracies really mean? What do the algorithms really do? Why have you chosen this particular model?
Yes.
Considering you had like a lot of what do you say? I think this was like a completely new thing for you. So I did not ask questions to you, but be prepared to be questioned
Yes.
about all of the
Yeah.
things that you do in your project. Okay. And even while you're demonstrating, try to stick to things that would mean something to the conclusion. Okay. Let's say you talked about the accuracy, you can just give a tiny bit of a definition about the R2 scores. What does that mean for us? Anything like that. Okay. You don't have to go through every single detail. You can go through every single detail if the other person asks for it, because that's the thing about projects like these, right? You have to try to explain complex things in a simpler way to the audience, and then you can be prepared for all of the technical things. I would be asking all of the questions, right? So you'll have to be prepared for that. Other than that, it was fine. You can actually do better. Okay. Yeah. You can stop sharing your screen. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
So regarding the certificate,
Yeah, go on. What?
regarding the internship certificates, when can I get it?
You will get it after your probationary period and after you've completed a minimum of 4 or 6 tasks. Then. Okay. Yeah. I think we're done for today. I'll be stopping with the screen recording. Thank you everyone for joining.